Let's create cozy vibes on a budget. Discover charming DIY candle holders and lanterns that will warm up your space without breaking the bank. I will be using Dollar Tree products and some thrifted items.
Hi, I'm Loli, and I'm so glad you are here. For this project, we're going to be using 2 bowls from Dollar Tree, that plate, and also some beads as well. The first thing that I did was take some of this stretchy cord from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to thread 24 beads onto it. And this is how it's looking like so far. Then I'm going to take the 2 bowls and I'm going to glue them together using some E6000. I'm just going to put them against each other, butt to butt. This is my inspiration piece from Lisa & Company. Alright, so the next day, once that dried, I took the beads and I'm going to wrap it around that area in which I glued the 2 balls together. And using that stretchy cord, I'm going to go ahead and figure out exactly where I need to tie it. And here I had enough beads, so I had to take one off here. That's how I ended up with 24. I had 25 originally. And you see there how I'm tying it together, making sure that everything fits correctly. Now that I'm happy with how it's going to be fitting on there, I am going to tie the 2 ends tightly, making sure that the beads are tight. And then I'm going to add some E6000 to the edges that the beads will be touching. So here I just loop that edge through that hole in the nut twice to make sure it doesn't slip, and I made it as tight as possible so it will hug the balls, as you see right here, just making sure that it holds in place. So that way, now that I'm happy with it, I'm going to cut the excess right there, and I'm going to take some E6000 and I'm going to add it in all those sections that the beads will be touching the balls. And I did this until I went all the way around the entire section of the balls. Friends, I want to take a quick moment to say thank you so much for clicking on my video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. Now it's time to attach the plate to the top. So in order to do that, I first remove the sticker that's on the back. Using my heat gun, I just heat it up until the glue was nice and soft, and then we just remove the sticker. I found it helpful to use my crooked spatula. Once again, I took my E6000 and I'm going to add it to the other lip of the top bowl all the way around until I have every surface covered, and then I'm going to place the plate right on top of it, and I'm going to let that sit overnight as well. Next day, I embellished it with some candles and some greenery from Dollar Tree, and look how pretty that is. Let me know what you think. For the next inspiration this evening, we're going to use, of course, another dinnerware from Dollar Tree. We're going to use this black and white plate and the black and white saucer that comes with it as well. And we're going to first remove the stickers off of each one of those using my heat gun and probably a scraper or my fingernails. My friends, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up. While you're there, go ahead and subscribe. It is free and it means the world to me. All right, now I'm going to glue them together using some E6000. I'm going to put it to the bottom of that bowl, and I'm going to add the bowl to the bottom of my plate. Here, I'm just scanning everything, making sure that, it looks nice and symmetrical around all sides. Then I'm going to let it sit overnight, and now it's time to embellish it. To do that, I'm going to use one of these candle holders from Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove that sticker using some heat and a scraper. I'm going to go ahead and clean the bottom of the candle holder using some of this white piece from Dollar Tree. I also clean the rest of the glass so I have it nice and clean for the project, and dry with a nice piece of paper towel. And now I'm going to use some hot glue and add it all the way to the center of the plate, as you see right there, and position my base onto it and hold it in place. Then I'm going to take this candle that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and remove all that packaging, and we're going to just put it right in there. But you already know, I'm not done yet. I decided to add some greenery to this, so I'm going to take this pick that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue them all the way at the bottom of the vase, as you see right there, adding hot glue at the beginning, at the end of each of the pieces that I'm adding on. And I did this until the entire bottom of the connection of the vase and the plate ends. Friends, if you recreate this, make sure that you take all the pieces of your greenery off before you start gluing things down, because look at how much I struggled. Don't go in the struggle bus with me, okay? So just make it easy on yourself and get all your pieces ready prior to, so you're able to hold that nice and neat in there until your piece dries. And you see how these two connect and there's a perfect circle? I love this piece. That is it for this one. You please let me know in the comments, how do you like it? For the next inspiration this evening, we are going to be using one of these bowls and a candle holder from Dollar Tree. First thing that I did is once again remove those stickers from the bottom of each one of the items. I used my heat gun and I make sure that it was nice and hot. Sometimes if you continue to heat it up for a while, it will lift on its own, but sometimes you need the help of the little scrapers. I didn't like the fact that the finishes between these two pieces were different, so I ended up taking one of these new candle holders from the Dollar Tree. It was the perfect match in finish and color. So I'm going to take my E6000 and add it to that raised edge at the bottom of my bowl. And once I have it nicely done, I'm going to go ahead and position the bowl on top of the candle holder. And I let this sit overnight as well. And this is how it's looking so far. The next day, I came in with these beads. It's a garland that came from Dollar Tree. At first, I had put them on jute cord, but then I said, you know what? No, it will be easier if I put this on the elastic band. This is the first DIY actually that I used that elastic cord that I used for the previous DIY. But here I have used first the jute cord. Don't do this. It's a lot easier if you do it using the elastic cord instead. And right here is what I found at Dollar Tree recently. This is for jewelry making, and I used this. These held the beads in place until the glue set, so that's why I recommend it. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the other one, and I'm going to wrap the beads around the union of the two pieces. And I'm going to tie it tightly. Here I'm removing beads as I go, making sure that I have a nice tight fit. And then once I knew exactly how many beads I needed, I'm going to go ahead and knot the elastic cord nice and tight, making sure that all of the beads are close together when I do that. And when I tied it on, I looped the tail of the knot twice into the hole when I'm making the knot to avoid any slippage. Then here I'm going to add some E6000 to the edges of the candle holder. That way when I position my beads, they will fall right on there, and that will sit overnight as well and dry. So once I was done with the E6000, all I did was cut off that excess elastic, and I just slipped the beads right onto place and let it sit there overnight. Now it's time to embellish it. So first I wanted to add a candle, but I also wanted some florals. So I took that pick from Dollar Tree and I looped it at the bottom, as you see right there. So it wraps around my candle and is positioned right there, as you see there. And I think that looked cute. But I'm not done yet. I decided that I wanted this to be a little bit higher up, so I added some floral foam to the bottom using some hot glue, and then I repositioned my candle and my floral right on top of it. The pick was making the candle be a little bit slanted, so here I'm just going to go ahead and reposition that bottom section of the pick so it will fit nice and flush. But wait, I'm not done yet. I decided that I wanted to add some greenery to this as well. So I'm going to use this greenery that I found from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces. Each one of the pieces I'm cutting into two. And I want to create an effect of it's coming down or cascading down all around the candle. So if you see there, I left some pieces. I left like 2 pieces a little bit longer. And guys, when you get these picks, make sure that all your little stems are there. I had this one in which it was missing pieces, so I had to like rub Peter to the paper in order to have some pieces be full. But one of these was enough to put in this arrangement. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to my subscribers for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. All these things help me tremendously. They help my channel grow, and I appreciate you very much for them. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and join the Lori D's Creations family. It is free and it means the world to me. And friend, I see here that it's looking a little bit scanty, but have faith that it's going to fill up slowly. As you see right there, this is what I meant by the cascading effect. It's taller in the back, and as it keeps coming down towards the front, it keeps getting shorter, and then everything was nicely filled in right here at the end. And then later on, I came in and put some Spanish moss to cover up the greens, and here it is all lit. I absolutely love this piece. I think it's unusual. I haven't seen anything like this before. And yeah, you let me know what you think. For the first project, I'm going to be using this charger from Dollar Tree and this vase right here. The Dollar Tree carries another one that's a little bit smaller. So we're going to use that one. And it carries another one that's a little bit smaller. So we are going to use that one as well. All right. Then I'm going to take some floral foam from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut it into 3 equal pieces, or at least I thought they were equal. And I'm going to glue them at the bottom where each one of the vase will be. I just want to elevate this a bit because I will be adding some florals to the bottom. And now it's time to remove those stickers from the bottom of the vases. So in order to do that easily, I used my heat gun and I added a little bit of glue gun to the bottom where there was any residue left behind and wipe it right off. Now it's time to add my vases to the floral foam. So just added some glue to the top of the floral foam and added my vases right on top. And I'm doing them from biggest to smallest, starting from the left to the right. Now it's time to come in with some greenery. So I'm going to use some of this eucalyptus from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just cut them into individual pieces, as you see right there. And I'm going to position them in different areas of the vases. And this is how it's looking once I'm done with all of the eucalyptus. I used one or two bunches to do this. Now I'm going to use 2 bunches of these greenery from Dollar Tree as well. With these, what I did was cut them into 3 different pieces, each one of the stems. I brought up the first set of leaves all the way to the top, chopped it, added a little bit of hot glue at the top of the other piece, so the piece won't fall off of the other piece, if that makes any sense. You can see they are adding hot glue to the top so it doesn't slide off when I put them in. And I did this with every single stem. So each stem that I removed from the pick, I divided into 3 different pieces and stick them individually all around any of the empty areas that were in this arrangement. Friends, I want to take a quick moment to say thank you for clicking on my video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you do, make sure that you hit that like button. That simple gesture helps my channel so much, and I appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much for your support. So as I'm doing this, I'm not having any rhyme or reason. I'm just going to the sections in which I see that floral foam is exposed and where things just look scanty, and I fill it all up. Then I took some of these Dollar Tree candles and put one in each one of the candle holders or vases. But I'm not done yet. I decided that I need a little bit more, so I'm going to take some of these daisies from Dollar Tree. They have like a little teal color to them, and I thought they were perfect for this. So I'm going to cut them pretty short, and we're going to stick them in some strategic places right here, mainly in front of our candle vases. and on the sides as well, just to give this a little bit more interest and a little bit more pizzazz. If you're enjoying this video so far, please guys go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It is free and it means the world to me. And while you're there, make sure that you hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you each time that I upload a new video. And also leave me a comment and let me know what kind of videos you would like to see in my channels in the future. That will truly help me make stuff that you truly will enjoy. Thank you so much. All right, my friends, once I was done with these, I fluffed them up, turned on my candles, and this turned out so cute. Let me know what you think. For the next inspiration today, I'm going to be using one of these lanterns that I got from Dollar Tree. They come with the little light already in the side there. So what we're going to do is take some of this black paint and paint it with it. We're going to leave the inside the color that it is. Then we're going to take this charger and this hanger from Dollar Tree. We're going to remove that from the packaging. We are going to put aside all the bolts and screws and all that hardware. We're not going to use it for this one, but keep it for a future DIY. So I took a marker and I'm going to mark exactly where the holes of the screws where I went, just so I know exactly where my hanger is going to end up. Then I'm going to take some E6000 and I'm going to add the E6000 right in between those 2 points. Then I added hot glue in the outer section of this E6000. Then brought the hanger and put it right back in its place. And apply some pressure. Once all the glue dried, I'm going to come back with my nail and remove any excess hot glue that slipped through the sides. Now I'm going to take this blessed word that I got from a pack of Fall Decor from Dollar Tree and painted it with my focal black ink. Once it dried, I'm going to bring it back to my charger plate and we're going to add it to the top. I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue to attach it. And that gave it a perfect touch. And here we go. This is it. Let me know what you think. For this project, I'll be using those bamboo rings from Dollar Tree, and the skewers also came from Dollar Tree. And these beads, I got this, it's a garland that I got on clearance from Hobby Lobby. I got it when it was 90% off. I'm going to go ahead and break it apart so I can use some of the beads. Then I took my skewers and I'm going to use some wood glue to add into my ring. And I'm also using some hot glue so the skewers will stay in place until the wood glue sets. Then I added the beads onto the skewer once everything was dry. And I repeated this process 4 more times. I just added 4 skewers opposite of each other. Then I repeated the same process, adding a skewer in between 2 of the other skewers. You'll see here exactly what I mean. So I'm just adding a skewer in between these 2, added beads to it, and did the same process until I had a total of 8 bead columns. Then I added a little bit of hot glue at the very top of the beads, and I did that on top of each one of them. And this is so I can add to it the next ring. And I carefully positioned the second bamboo ring right in between, making sure that all of my skewers are at the inside of the ring, and then making sure that that skewer made contact with the bamboo ring. I used some pink clips that I got from Dollar Tree and some tape to help me keep these in place until that glue set. And I made sure to add glue to the end of the skewers as well in any areas that were missing to make sure I have that extra contact. So I have some of that wood glue onto the top section of the bead and also onto the front section of that skewer. And I just kept cleaning off any excess glue as I went along. And I let it sit for 3 months. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish it 3 months later. For it, I'm going to use this riser that I got from Dollar Tree, and I painted it white with Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint, and then protected it with some Mod Podge. Once it's dried, we are going to come back in with that piece that we did before, and using my snips, as you see right there, I am just cutting off that excess skewer that I have left over on the top, making sure that I'm doing it in a way in which it is flush with the ring. And then I'm going to sand off the edges of the skewers to remove any jagged edges. I remove all the dust of my surfaces, and then I'm going to take some paint and paint the two rings white using my Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint. I ended up giving each one 2 coats of paint. Now it's time to put this together, and to do that I'm going to use some wood glue. Once I figured out exactly where the center of this was, making sure that everything measured the same, eyeballing it really there, then I added a little bit of hot glue, actually wood glue, on one of the rings at the bottom. I try to put it in strategic places so I didn't have too much hot glue seeping through. So I put it mostly in those surfaces in which I had the skewer as well, because there was a little bit more surface area. And then I positioned my piece onto the round riser. Then I used these pink clamps from Dollar Tree to keep everything in place while the glue dried. This wood glue sets in about 10 minutes, so I removed 2 of the clamps once that time came by, and then I'm going to take this mirror that I got from Dollar Tree and I placed it there in the inside of it. This was my first idea that I was going to use these colors. I end up not using that candle nor that glass either, that mirror, for this project, but this is an option that you can use as well. You let me know later on if you like this option or if you like the one that I end up doing. But for now, I decided to use some of this new picks that I got from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take these bricks out. These are hanging. They are so beautiful. They have a little bit of big pieces of, glitter on them. And I just took the pieces off, and I'm going to glue them on the bottom section of this lantern. I just needed 2 pieces to go around the entire circumference. If you enjoyed this video so far, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It signals YouTube that you're enjoying the content, and it will push it out to more people. And share this video with some friends, because sharing is caring and it helps my channel grow. Thank you so much. Alright, so here I ended up removing that candle and also removing that mirror. And I just put the hurricane base into it, and I love how this turned out. Let me know in the comments if you prefer the first option with the candle and the mirror, or if you prefer the hurricane base that I used at the end. Here we go with the next inspiration. For this inspiration, I'm going to use one of these new vases from Dollar Tree. I love this shape, and I thought it would be perfect for this project. The first thing that I'm going to do is add some of these gems to the bottom of it. Then I'm going to take one of these candles from the Short Living collection at Dollar Tree and add it on top of my gems. This is what it's looking like so far, but we're not going to stop there, right? I'm going to take some of this raffia, again from the hula skirt, and I'm going to pick out a section on the side right there. I'm going to tip it down to my table, and I'm going to begin to braid this into a large fluffy braid. And yes, I know, I braid backwards, but this is how I learned, and it comes out so cute. Once I got to the end of my braid, I'm going to take a piece of jute cord and then tie it off right there. But first I wanted to put aside 2 small pieces of raffia that I'm going to be using later on. So now here you see me wrapping that jute cord there. I'm going to make a nice double knot, nice and tight, and cut off the excess of the raffia. I took the pieces of raffia that I cut out earlier, and I'm going to use them to cover up the jute cord. And then I cut off the excess raffia. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. And here's the braid all completed. Now we are going to take that base and we're going to loop this braid over it, as you see right there. And I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue to attach it to the sides. Then I took some of this jute cord from Dollar Tree and I'm going to glue it there to the end of the raffia. And I'm going to wrap it all the way, I will not say all the way, like 3/4 of the way up the base, covering the raffia as I go up. Friend, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to leave it a big thumbs up. And when I was done wrapping it, this is what it turned out like. Let me know what you think. Which one of these is your favorite? For the next inspiration today, we're going to be using these two vases from Dollar Tree. The first thing that I did was remove the tag off of both of the bottoms. Then I'm going to take some E6000 and add it to the bottom of one of the vases. And we are going to add some hot glue on the edges just to have that immediate hold. The E6000 is going to be the main adhesive here that's going to give this longevity. Then I'm going to take some Mod Podge Multi and I'm going to add it to one of my daubers and add it to the bottom base. Once that dried, I'm going to take this concoction of paint that I got mixed in some aged gray with some navy blue to give me this beautiful muted blue color. Now that the paint is nice and dry, I'm going to take this dog leash, which is another one of our challenge items, and we are going to go ahead and remove it from the packaging and cut a section off of it. But before going any further, I wanted to protect the paint by adding some Mod Podge Multi. Once it all dried, I'm going to take that piece of dog leash. I'm going to remove this section right here that had the stitching on it and burn off the edges to avoid any unraveling. Now I'm going to glue it right here to the middle with both the vases unite. To do this, I just use some hot glue, but you're more than welcome to use some E6000 or another more permanent adhesive so you have more durability. My friend, if you're still with me this far into the video, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for sticking around. Leave me an emoji if you want a little sun or simply a smiley face so I know who you are. Thank you so much. All right, so here I'm adding the leftover sand that I had from the previous DIY to the bottom of this. I'm just cupping it in place as you see right there so it wouldn't go to my table and it will all fall inside of the vase. I'm just going to sift it around, you see right there, just to try to make it nice and flat. And then I'm going to add some of these gems as well to it. Next, I took one of these candles from Dollar Tree. You have many options here. You can add some water to this and use one of the floating candles from Dollar Tree. You can add one of these little votive candles as well from Dollar Tree, as you see right here. Or you can do the other option and use one of the emergency candles as well from Dollar Tree that you will see in the final reveal. You have here so many options, guys. So I hope you enjoy this one. Let me know what you think. For our next inspiration today, we will be using two of these wood rounds from Dollar Tree. These can also be found at Michael's and Hobby Lobby for 99 cents. First thing that I did was give them both a nice sand and making sure to have them as smooth as possible to have a nice smooth finish. Then I'm going to paint them with 2 coats of my Krylon satin paint. Once they were nice and dry, we are going to use these pieces from Dollar Tree. They are so cute. They're cream color and they have some specks of gold. I'm going to leave them as it is. I'm just going to take some of my E6000 and I'm going to attach these to the bases. Before that glue dries, I'm going to take a little cute skewer like you see right there, and I'm going to remove any excess glue that's seeped to the sides. Left them overnight, and now we are going to add some of these little tea light holders from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 4. And I'm going to attach them using some gold floral wire from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to go ahead and feed them through the holes at the middle of each one of the leaves there. And what I'm doing is making sure that at the end I have a nice amount of wire, so I'm able to wrap it around this 3 times without having to cut the wire. I just want to make sure that I have enough to do what I'm trying to do. So I do not want to cut the wire and then not have enough or have too much. So I'm going to just do that. And once I got to my 3 revolutions around my tea light candle holders, and then I'm going to tighten it up by spinning or twist the wire on the back. And then I'm going to make sure that it's nice and tight by using some pliers. And I repeated the same process with the other one as well. I added some battery-operated tea light candles inside of them. And that is it for this one. Let me know what you think. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to my subscribers for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. All these things help me tremendously. They help my channel grow, and I appreciate you very much for them. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and join the Loli D's Creations family. It is free and it means the world to me. All right, let's start with these beautiful candle holders that I found from a thrift flip in Florida on my visit recently there to my in-laws. These were actually marked at, this one was $4, but it was 50% off, so I got it for 2. This one was 3, and I got it for $1.50. And then this one, the last one was $6, and I got it for 3. I gave him a nice cleaning using the Stuff Plus that I got from Dollar Tree, and make sure to get it every single nook and cranny of each one of the candle holders. One of the tops became detached, so I'm going to take a combination of E6000 and hot glue and reposition it back where it belongs. And now it is good as new. Now I'm going to take some of this full card black paint, and I'm going to completely cover all 3 of the candle holders. I just make sure to get into all of the nooks and crannies. And also make sure to get the bottom as well, because this is going to be sold and we want everything to be nice and finished. I ended up giving each one 2 coats, and this is what they look like at the end there. You can leave them like this, but you know already I'm not done yet. I'm going to come in with some of this white wax from Waverly, and I'm going to use one of these daubers and lightly dab some of that white wax over the pieces to reveal this beautiful design. Here I'm making sure that the sponge is not too saturated with the white wax, so it doesn't go into the nooks and crannies. So we have a beautiful surface like this, and you can see all the detail on each one of them. And I repeated that with all three of the candle holders. You can leave them like this if you like, but I had more ideas, so I want to go ahead and bring all that detail out on this piece right here as well. Here I'm using the double even drier than I used for the other portion, and I just want to reveal all those little petals that it has on that portion also. You can also stop here if you want, but here I'm going to bring out the details on this section as well here. So I'm going to come in with some more of that white wax on those surfaces. Just make sure, since this was really shallow, make sure that you don't have too much of the white wax on that sponge, so you're able to reveal the best details. And I did the same thing with this little portion at the top as well. These candle holders are so intricate and they're so beautiful. They have so much detail. I want all that to show. And I repeated that with all three. And here I'm adding some of that same white wax to the edges of where the candle will go to tie everything together. I also added some white wax to all the ridges as here, all the raised pieces at the bottom as well, to reveal that detail also and give this even more depth. And here they are all completed. Let me know what you think. Here I'm using two frames that I got from canvases from Dollar Tree. These, I believe, were 5x7s, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to sand off the rough edges. Then I'm going to position one on top of the other, and I'm going to use a ruler to find the center of one of them. Once I find that, I'm going to just mark it over and draw a line straight across. And what I did to the top, I'm going to do to the bottom. Then I took my miter shears and I'm going to use it to cut exactly where I put that mark. The wood was a little bit wider than my miter shears, so I'm just going to be turning the wood slightly as I'm cutting until I'm able to cut all the way through. And I repeated the same process with the bottom piece as well. And now I'm going to adhere it to the sides of the other frame. They were not quite flush against each other, so I just sanded off the edges to make sure that it was nice and flat. And then I'm going to attach it to the side of the whole frame using some wood glue. I position it right in there in the middle of the frame, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece as well. I added a little bit of hot glue on the edges of the joints just to keep it in place, and I also tied a piece of jute cord around one of the sides to keep pressure until the wood glue completely dried. I let it sit for about 30 minutes and then I removed that piece of jute cord, and I'm going to paint it with 2 coats of my linen white chalk paint from Rust-Oleum. Then I'm going to take some tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. I'm first going to create a set of 3. I'm going to glue them using some wood glue. And then once those 3 tumbling tower blocks are glued together, I'm going to create a second grouping of 3 and then stick it at the top of the first group. If you enjoyed this content so far, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and make sure that you hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you on any future content that I put out. All these things are free and they mean the world to me. Thank you. Then I took some more tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to use 4 of them, and I'm going to glue them to the bottom section of the first structure that I created. And I let them dry overnight. Then I painted the tumbling tower blocks with some burnt oxide from apple barrel. And that grouping of the 6 tumbling tower blocks, I'm going to glue them to the center of the structure using some wood glue. Once everything was nice and dry, I'm going to flip over my structure here. And I'm going to use some wood hot glue to adhere a piece of floral foam. Then I took a variety of different boxwoods from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut them into small pieces and put them in different sections of the floral foam. Then I took some of these blue sunflowers from Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and leave a little bit of the stem, and I'm going to cut them very short and push the leaves all the way to the top and add a little bit of heat to the top to open up the flower. And then I'm going to stick a single one on each one of the intersections or the little grooves, I don't know how you want to call them, at the bottom of the structure. Then I'm going to use some of this maroon colored boxwood also all the way around and between the green one as well. In spots that seem a little bit bare, I added a little bit more of that green as well to cover up the floral foam. And I added some more of the maroon at the bottom sections. I also found this red. I thought it was beautiful and it will bring it just another touch of color. So I'm going to add those also in the bottom, trying to alternate between that and the maroon. This pick, however, was sliding, the pieces was sliding back and forth, so I'm adding a little bit of hot glue at the end so it will stay in place. And I added some of the red to the top as well, so it will look nice and uniform. And look how fabulous that is looking. Now I'm going to take one of these candle holders from Dollar Tree, moving that tag off the bottom. I'm going to place it right there over the little wooden stand. I added a battery operated candle to it, and that is it. Look how cute that turned out. I love it. You let me know what you think. Take one of these wood rounds from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 2 tumbling tower blocks just stuck together that I used for a previous DIY, and I'm going to glue it to the middle of my wood round using some wood glue. I am also going to be using this beaded pumpkin from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue it to the tumbling tower blocks using some wood glue. If you're enjoying this content so far, hit the like button, comment and let me know what you like the most about it or what you will change. And make sure that you share it with your friends because sharing is caring and it helps my channel grow. Thank you. Once everything dried, I'm going to paint the tumbling tower blocks and the wood round with some brown oxide from apple barrel. And once it was dry, I just took a little tea light candle, or actually a votive candle from Dollar Tree, and added it to the center. And that is it for this one. Nice and simple yet beautiful. Look at that. Let me know what you think. I'm going to use 2 of these candle holders that I got at a garage sale. I'm going to stick them together on the bottom section. I took off a piece of fabric or something that I had at the bottom, and I'm using some wood glue to attach them together, and I'm adding the wood glue to all the creases to make sure that there are no gaps in between. A good substitution for these will be these blocks from Dollar Tree. You can glue them together and get the same effect. Once that dried, I'm going to give it 2 sloppy coats with this linen white chalk paint. And now that everything is dry, I'm going to take 3 of these candle holders that I also got from Dollar Tree and simply place them on top of these, spaced out equally. Then I added some votive candles to each one of these as well. These are battery operated, but in this case, these were meant for candles, so you can use real candles if you like. I like my battery operated ones. And that is it for this one. Look, nice and simple, yet so beautiful. Let me know what you think. And if you'd like to see a video in which I create those leaf candle holders, I will link it above. We are starting our first project using these pieces from Dollar Tree. These are margarita glasses and 2 wine glasses. I'm going to remove the tag off of the bottom of each one of these. Then I'm going to add some hot glue to the bottom of the wine glasses and attach them to the bottom of each one of the margarita glasses. Then I'm going to take some of this ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to see exactly how much I need to go around where the 2 glasses are joined together, and I'm going to cut that section off. Once I know that, I'm going to use that piece as a template to cut a second piece. Now I'm going to take the ribbon and fold it in half, as you see there, long ways, and attach it where both of the cups are joined together. And for that, I'm going to use a bit of hot glue. And I'm going to repeat this process with the other one as well. Then I'm going to take 2 of these little turtles from Dollar Tree and attach them to the ribbon right there with both of the ends adjoined. I repeated this with the second one as well, and then I just added some battery operated tea light candles to the inside, and that is it for this one. Let me know what you think. For this project, we'll be using 2 of these clay planters that I got from Michael's and 2 of these saucer from Michael as well. We're going to remove all the tags from the bottom and then take some E6000 and add it to the bottom of one of the planters. And then added the other planter's bottom to the bottom of that bottom. Then I took some E6000 and added some to the rim of the top planter and position the first saucer on top of it. We're going to let this one sit overnight. Next day, we're going to add some E6000 to the bottom saucer on all of the edges and place the original piece over that saucer. And I'll let that piece sit overnight as well. Next, I created a second piece using 1 saucer and 1 of these clay pots from Dollar Tree. Using some heat from my heat gun, I warmed up the tag and removed it. And I'm going to add some E6000 to the bottom of the clay pot. And then place that clay pot onto the saucer, making sure that it's centered. And let it dry overnight. Next day, we're going to come in with some of our folk art white paint. And we're going to dry brush it over both of these pieces. You can go as light or as heavy as you want. I will suggest to go
lighter first and then keep building. My intention is to distress this at the end anyway, so I'm going kind of heavy, so later on I can distress where I plan to do so. And here comes the distress, and I'm using a wet wipe from a cleaning wipe solution from Dollar Tree, and I'm just removing the paint in areas in which I have just too much buildup of it, and also in edges that will be naturally distressed with wear and tear. And right about here, I am pretty happy with it. And I did the same thing with the smaller one as well. And I absolutely love the effect that this technique leaves behind. Then I just added on some candles to the top, and that is it for this one. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this piece? I absolutely love these. I used two of these candle holders from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint them using my Black & Decker paint and primer. I did a total of four coats of this, trying to keep them very light. Once they were dry, I took some of this navy blue color from Kilts. It's a Kilts chalk paint, and I'm going to completely cover the bottom section of each of the candle holders. My friends, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I hope you enjoy the 3 beautiful DIYs I created today, and they're perfect for your upcoming 4th of July entertaining needs. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe and leave me a comment, and don't forget to set your notifications over to all so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much. And remember that this is all free and it means the world to me. Once the candle holder is dried, I'm going to go ahead and take some E6000 and I'm going to add into the top section of the candle holders. And then I'm going to take these 2 glasses that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm removing the sticker from the bottom of them, and we're going to position them right onto these candle holders. And I make sure to have them nicely centered. I let them sit overnight, and once they were dried, I applied some more of that chalk paint on that ridge you see right there along the entire portion of the candle holder. I also went in with a very fine tip brush, and I am cleaning up the edges right here, making sure that everything is nice and straight. And that is it for this one. These are perfect for your 4th of July barbecues. You can have them up in your table, set up in your tables, on your decks. They are awesome.
So for the next inspiration, we will be using one of these plunger sticks from Dollar Tree. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut it. I did that using my miter saw. And then I'm going to go ahead and sand down the edges. I did that off camera. Then I took one of these wood bases from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to sand off all the rough edges. I'm going to remove all the dust, and then we are going to take a combination of wood glue and wood hot glue to attach the plunger stick to the middle of the base. I make sure to hold it down tightly until the wood hot glue sets. Now I'm just removing the excess that sits on the edges. Then I'm going to take some of this white chalk paint and paint that with it. While that dries, I'm going to take one of these little planters from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it also using the same white chalk paint. I ended up giving it a total of 3 coats. Then I'm going to use this candy holder from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint the lid white and the lip at the bottom of the dish. Now it's time to assemble everything together. So first I'm going to take that stick and put it in the bottom of that planter and trace it. Then I'm using my heat tool. I'm going to go ahead and cut that circle completely out of the bottom. Then I'm going to slide the planter down the plunger pole and adhere it to the bottom using some wood hot glue. And make sure to press it down firmly until it dried. Now it's time to go ahead and add the candy dish to the top of this. So I'm going to just go ahead and add some hot wood glue, I should say, in the bottom of the dish. And I'm going to press it down onto the plunger stick, hold it in place until that sets as well. And this is what our project is looking like so far. Now it's time to add some floral foam into the planter. I just cut it into small pieces and place them next to each other, making sure that it was tightly securing the stick as well in place. Now I'm using some of these florals that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut them into individual pieces and place them around the pole. Once all the floral is in place, I'm going to take some of the Spanish moss and I'm going to cover any areas that have any of the floral foam still showing. But I'm not done yet. I'm going to take one of the steel light candles from Dollar Tree and we're going to add it inside of that candy holder. Place the cover right back up there. And now we are done with this beautiful piece. Let me know what you think about it.
For this one, we will be using one of these candy dishes from the Dollar Tree. So I gave it a quick coat of this brilliant gold paint from Kryolan. But it was quite transparent. So I went with plan B. I took my folk art black chalk paint and gave it a coat instead. Then using the same paint, I painted the bottom lip of the candy jar. Then I took Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus off this nativity set. And I'm trying to cut one of the Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree using my tool. And I'm going to glue those tiny pieces to the back so it works in order to stand up each character. Then I gave them a coat of gold paint. I used a sponge and lots of paint to leave some texture on the surface. While those dried, I took some of the black chalk paint and created a wall in one side of the candle dish, painting it in the inside. I just wanted to give it the appearance of a nighttime scene. Once all the pieces were dry, I just took my Mod Podge and gave every piece a protective coat. Then I took one of these stars and my gold paint, and I'm going to just paint the star. Then I took one of these planks from the Dollar Tree and cut it at 3.5 inches in length. And as I mentioned earlier, this video is part of a collaboration. Please be sure that you stop by these wonderful ladies' channels and show them some love and watch the entire playlist. The link to the playlist and their channels will be in the description box below. Then using my emery board, I sand off all the edges, giving it a finished look. Then I gave the front and back a coat of paint using the Rust-Oleum linen white. I let it dry and then came in with some gold, distressing the ends. And using my Cricut, I cut the wording, "Away in a manger, our Savior was born." And I'm going to place it in the front of the wood piece.
Then I sealed everything in using some Mod Podge. If you're enjoying this video, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Then I took one of these metal candle holders from the Dollar Tree and placed it in the middle of the wood plank. I am measuring using tumbling tower blocks to see exactly where we'll be gluing the blocks. Then I place it back down, put my hot glue, and put the tumbling tower blocks on each side of the piece here. And this is how it ended up looking. Then I took some raffia, wrestled with it, and I am cutting it in tiny little pieces that resemble straw for my manger. Then I'm taking my gold paint and I'm going to rub it using a paper towel all along the cover just to give it a metallic look. And I'm doing the same thing on the lip of the candy dish and along the metal candle holder as well. As I wanted the inside to sparkle, I also added some to the inside of the bowl where the black paint was. Then I placed Mary, Joseph of Jesus in there just to make sure everything was looking good. And here you see me doing the same process on the metal candle holder. Once everything dried, I took some E6000 and put it in the bottom of my candy dish. And I applied a little bit of hot glue as well and placed my candle holder onto the bottom of my candle dish. And I'm securing the edges with some more E6000 for maximum security. And now it's time to reassemble my nativity scene. I used some of these fairy lights from the Dollar Tree. I wrapped it around my hand and then placed it down onto the candy dish. I then hot glued the back of the power source to the back of the Jenga blocks, making sure to leave the battery cover in the outside. Then I wrote Mary, Joseph, and Jesus back in. And this is what it's looking so far. I wanted to add a little star, so I took the wooden star and a little piece of Jenga block and I glued it to the background where the black was painted. I wanted to add some greenery and color, so I used some of these pine cones from, not pine cones, pine picks from the Dollar Tree, and I cut pieces and put it on each side of the candle dish. Then I took some of this red ribbon from the Dollar Tree, created a double loop bow and glued it to the middle. And for extra embellishment, I took a pine cone from the Dollar Tree scatter and glued it in the middle, duct tape my ends, and there we are.
I use these jars that I got from Dollar Tree and these candle holders that I got from Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make sure that my candle holders is nice and clean, and we're going to go ahead and add some E6000 to the raised edges of the candle holders. Then we're going to go ahead and remove the stickers from the bottom of the jars. And we're going to go ahead and place that candle holder to the bottom of the jar. And we're going to repeat this with the second one as well and let them sit and dry overnight. The next day, we're going to come in with some of these bee little lights from the Dollar Tree, and I have two sets. I went to go ahead and wind them around my hand, trying to keep them at different levels, and then I'm going to put that power bank, I'm going to stick it to the lid, but I'm going to make sure to stick the side that does not have the screw to change the batteries. And I repeated this process with both of the jars. As you see here, I had a little bit of a struggle keeping them from all falling to the bottom, so I wind up the cable closest to around the power bank, and then I screwed the cap back in place. So I had the bees sit at different levels so they looked like they were flying around inside of the jar. And of course, I repeated the same process with the other jar as well. And look how stunning these came out. Let me know what you think. For our next inspiration, we're going to use these elusive little bee cages that I found at Dollar Tree and 2 candle holders as well. I'm going to use these candle holders that are black, and we are going to embellish these a little bit. So I'm going to come in with this color from Dollar Tree. It's actually not Dollar Tree, I'm sorry. This is Full Card metallic in the color copper. And I'm going to add it to both of these candle holders. I was expecting this to be a color that is a lot closer to the bees that the cage has, but for some reason it came out looking more gold than copper. So don't you worry, that is fine. This is going to be one layer of metallic that we will add to it. And now comes the rose gold. So the rose gold is going to tie everything together. So I'm adding it right on top of that gold, but I'm doing it in such a light coat that you have both those colors coming through, having that beautiful rose gold paint over it. And I think it was the perfect color to complement the bees. So I added that color to both of the candle holders and make sure that they were nice and dry. Then I took some E6000 and I'm going to add it to the edges of each one of the candle holders. And then I place the cages right on top of them. And let them sit to dry overnight. Next day, it's time to embellish this. So we're going to go ahead and open up those cages. And they don't open all the way, guys. I don't know why. But anyway, I didn't need them to open up that much anyway. I'm taking some of these votive candles from Dollar Tree and we're going to throw them right in there. But I figured, you know what, it was looking too plain for me. You know already, I'm not done yet. So I took some of this boxwood that I got from Walmart and we're going to add individual pieces of it all along the perimeter of the cage, uniting them together at the center, just creating like a bed of greenery for my candle. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to my subscribers for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. All these things help me tremendously. They help my channel grow, and I appreciate you very much for them. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and join the Loli D's Creations family. It is free and it means the world to me. All right, then I continued adding 2 sprigs for every little opening of the cage until I completely had the cage completely surrounded, as you see there. Then it's time to add the little candle right at the center of the bed of boxwood. And that is it. I repeated it with the other side and look how cute those look. These are stunning. These are my favorites. I left the very best for last. I hope you love them as much as I do. And don't forget to tell me which one of these is your favorite, okay? You know I love to see your comments and to get your feedback on these. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, here are a couple more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. You're amazing. Bye.